Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into something really core to India's democracy, how the right to vote evolved. Specifically, universal adult suffrage in the Constitution.
Exactly. It's about who gets a say.
For you listening, that's the idea that all adult citizens can vote, no matter their wealth, gender, social status, anything like that.
Right. And India's approach was quite striking from the get-go.
Okay, let's unpack this. So the Constitution laid this out from the start.
It did. When India became a republic in 1950, the Constitution immediately provided for universal adult suffrage, which was a really bold move for a brand new nation, especially one emerging from colonialism.
Bold how? Compared to other places.
Well, yeah. Initially, the voting age was set at 21. Now, think about it. Many older, established democracies only got to universal suffrage gradually. They excluded women or minorities, sometimes for decades, well into the 20th century.
I see. So India sort of jumped right in.
Pretty much. It leapfrogged many of those historical struggles over who gets a vote.
Okay, so 21 initially. But you mentioned evolution. That age didn't stick, did it?
No, it didn't.
Here's where it gets really interesting. What happened? Why change something so fundamental?
Well, that foundational aspect, the voting age, it saw a major shift. It was actually lowered
Lowered from 21 to
down to 18 years old.
18. Okay, that's significant. When did this happen?
This change came about under Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi's government. It was done through the 61st Constitutional Amendment that was passed by Parliament in 1988.
88.
Uh-huh. And it officially came into effect the following year in 1989.
1989. And you said a constitutional amendment. The 61st? That sounds like a big deal legally. Why an amendment? Why not just pass a law?
Right. Good question. In India, changing the Constitution isn't simple. It needs a special majority, usually a two-thirds vote in both houses of Parliament.
Wow, two-thirds.
Yeah. And sometimes it even needs approval from half the state legislatures. It's a high bar reserved for fundamental changes.
So changing the voting age was seen as fundamental.
Absolutely. It redefined who counts as a full participant in democracy. Using an amendment underlined just how important this change was considered.
Makes sense. Was there a specific push for this in 88? Like a particular reason Rajiv Gandhi's government championed it then?
Well, there was definitely a sense of youth empowerment. India had, and still has, a huge young population. Bringing 18 to 21-year-olds into the voting process was seen as a way to energize democracy.
Energize it how?
By reflecting the changing demographics, bringing in new perspectives. And you could argue there was a political dimension, too, engaging this large group of young, often newly educated citizens.
Right. Potentially a whole new voting bloc to appeal to.
Exactly. It was a statement of confidence in the youth, really.
So suddenly millions more people could vote. That must have been a massive shift. I mean, it's more than just numbers. It changes the whole dynamic, doesn't it?
It really does. You're redefining who constitutes the people in a democracy, in a practical sense.
Yeah. Were people worried? I mean, bringing such a large young group into the electorate all at once, was there debate about, whether they were ready?
Oh, sure. There are definitely discussions. Like with any big constitutional shift, some people raised concerns, questions about political maturity, maybe potential volatility.
You mean how this new bloc might vote or behave?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Adding a large, relatively untested demographic always brings some uncertainty. But I'd say the overall feeling was more towards optimism.
Optimism.
Yes, a belief that empowering young adults would actually strengthen democracy, inject new energy, new ideas. It showed a growing trust in their judgment.
Okay, so connecting this to the bigger picture then, what does this specific change, lowering the voting age, tell us about how democracies evolve?
It's a really powerful example. It shows democracy isn't static. It adapts. Lowering the age reflects the belief that younger citizens are capable and deserve a voice.
And it strengthens the system by including them.
Precisely. It makes the democracy more representative of the society it governs. It showed India adapting its own foundational rules to match societal shifts and aspirations for its youth.
What about the practical impact? Did it massively change voter turnout or election results straight away?
The immediate impact was, of course, a huge increase in the sheer number of eligible voters, dramatically larger electorate.
Right.
Now, tying specific election outcomes just to that one change is tricky. Lots of factors are always at play. But it definitely diversified the electorate.
How so?
Political parties suddenly had to think about appealing to 18-year-olds. Issues like education, jobs, the future, they likely gained prominence. Parties had to adjust their strategies, their platforms. It pushed towards greater inclusion.
That leaves us with a really interesting thought, doesn't it?
What's that?
Just how these seemingly technical changes, like adjusting an age in a document, can fundamentally reshape a whole nation's democracy.
That's true.
It changes who holds power, whose voice gets heard, how citizens see their own role.
Absolutely. It's a stark reminder that constitutions aren't just old texts on a shelf. They're living documents.
Constantly evolving.
Exactly. And every amendment, no matter how small it seems, can have these profound ripple effects on the country's future.